very first mitzvah as we know it, it's called the first mitzvah in the Torah, HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem. Moshe is told to count the months from Nisan. The first month always has to be Nisan. Even though we count the years, when we talk about Rosh Hashanah, you stop anybody on the street. When's the beginning of the year? Rosh Hashanah? Everybody knows it's Rosh Hashanah. But when you count months, the first month is always Nisan, second month Iyar, third month Sivan, v'chulei. The Ramban says that the reason for this, it's based on Gemara, it's based on Chazal, that the reason for this is part of remembering Yetzias Mitzrayim. We always want to remember the great miracle of leaving Mitzrayim. So we remember that it happened in Nisan, and we always count the months from that event. What month is it that it's the fourth month? What do you mean the fourth month? Fourth month from Yetzias Mitzrayim. So we're always referencing back to Yetzias Mitzrayim. Ramban continues, beautifully explains why today we don't call it the first month, the second month. We call it Tishrei, Cheshvan, because Nisan, Iyar, Sivan. We have names. Says the Gemara, Shemesh miBavel, Olam miBavel. They brought it from Bavel. When the Yidden came back from the Golus Bavel, in between the first and the second Beis Hamikdash, they came back, built the second Beis Hamikdash. All of a sudden they were talking Babylonian. They were talking a different language, and they were calling the months by names. Tishrei, Cheshvan. What happened? What do you mean? This is not the Torah names. Not only that, but if you look in the Sifrei Tanakh, Sifrei Ksuvim that were written at that time or after, Megillah Esther is one of them. We talk about the Chodesh Teves, the Chodesh Sivan, the Chodesh Nisan, the Chodesh Adar. So it's there, right in the middle. What's going on? What happened to the first? What happened to the Chodesh Hazeh Lachem? We call it the first one, second month. No, says the Rambam beautifully, because this was also a geula. It was a geula from the Golus Bavel. So we want to remember that HaKadosh Baruch Hu redeemed us from Bavel. So we call the months by the Babylonian names. We're now in America. We're in Russia. We're talking different languages. We're not talking Babylonian anymore. But still, we're not talking Aramis. But still, we're calling the months by those names. Tishrei, Cheshvan, to remember the geula of Bavel, says the Ramban. There's a discussion in the Poskim if you're allowed to use the names of the Goyish months, January, February, or you're allowed to write even a bigger shayla. If you're allowed to write the first month, if we're talking about January, 1/15, January, are you allowed to write that? Are you allowed to write the second month? Poskim deal with it. Moshe Sternbach, Ravad Yosef, many of the contemporary Poskim, even as far back as Chassam Sofer talks about the Maram Shik, they talk about writing letters and dating it with the secular dates. You're allowed to, you're not allowed to. Baruch Hashem, we know there's heterim, we have to. We can't do business like that. You're going to meet a Goyish business partner and say, okay, this contract is being signed on the 15th day of Kislev. Well, what's Kislev? What are you talking about? So you have to write it. Question if you should dafka write the names and not the numbers, because the numbers is a direct opposition to what the Torah wants. HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem Rosh Chodesh. This is called the first month. Don't call January the first month. Call Nisan the first month. Question about the years, if you're allowed to count from the common era. Are you allowed? Many different shaylas. But okay. But unfortunately, we live in Golus and we do use those names. But it's important that we always remember that there are names. There's Tishrei, Cheshvan, Kislev. We should always remember where we are in the Jewish calendar. We shouldn't forget where we are. Even if we have a heter, we're allowed to use the Goyish dates. So I have a friend who has a renter in Eretz Yisrael, rents one of his apartments that he owns in Eretz Yisrael. And the guy's always confused. Which month is it? It's October, it's November, the guy doesn't know. I don't know. We're in Tishrei now, we're in Cheshvan, Kislev, that he knows. He doesn't know which month, which day of the month. Beautiful thing. There's Yidden who live mamish, and they live their day-to-day lives only by the Jewish calendar. That's mamish what the Torah wants. We should remember Yetzias Mitzrayim, we should remember the Yetzias of Bavel, we should remember the geula of the Golus of Bavel, with the schus, that we pay attention to the months of the year, to the Golus of Mitzrayim, the Gulas Mitzrayim, the Golus Bavel, and the Gulas Bavel. We should talk to the Geula from this Golus, b'meher v'yameinu. Good Shabbos.